To get to the ADSB test, from the main menu we click the test functions. ADSB is an ATC function, so I click the ATC menu. ADSB brings up the ADSB menu. Currently we are just providing ADSB out from the aircraft into the test set. In the future, this ADSB menu will also have ADSB in, where the test set can generate an ADSB intruder into the aircraft. So I select my ADSB out. This is our ADSB menu. First thing that pops up is a warning. Whenever you're testing any type of transponder, navigation aid or communications, we must be aware that there is a risk and effect on local ATC and local aircraft. Whenever we're testing transponders and ADSB signals, we need to be very careful that we are not radiating dangerous signals. So please make sure you comply with the local requirements. That can be screening off antennas, putting the aircraft at different altitudes, and or informing local ATC that you're going to do a test. Okay, so we're at our ADSB screen. Very similar to Mode S. If I go back to the ADSB config by pushing the little yellow button, it's quite a simple configuration. The port selection is whether I'm doing an antenna or a cable test. External attenuator value, if it's required. If we put an external attenuator between the ARTS box and the test antenna, we put the value in here. The ADSB configuration, specific one, position decode. This can be set to global or local. I'm going to leave it as global. And you can enter a local latitude and longitude. So once you've set up your config, you exit, back to the test page. We need to set up the ARTS ADSB antenna. We need to make sure that it is pointing quite accurately to the ADSB or the transponder antenna on the aircraft. Once we've got that set up, we can start the test. Now, the ARTS-7000 is acting as a ground station and interrogating the aircraft under test and receiving the replies. In this case, the display screen will show the received frequency, the aircraft address, the aircraft status, the aircraft latitude, the DF17 information, received power, the tail number, the barometric altitude, and the aircraft longitude. So these are the basic functions of ADSB. If I hit the list test, this is the specific ADSB DFs or download formats. If I look at the initial test by selecting it, that takes us back to our basic test. If I go back to the test list and look at DF4 as an example, this gives us the specific information from DF4. I can look at any of the replies for each download format. In this case, let's look at DF16. DF16 replies, what the vertical status is, the TCAS sensitivity level, the altitude code, the aircraft address, the resolution advisories, all of the information relating to DF16. Anything red is a failure, anything green is a pass. Anything NCD is not available. It's not necessarily a failure. So go back to our main test, back to our main test page. ADSB testing is quite simple. The key thing is the setup of the antenna. Get the antenna pointing at the transponder correctly. Get the aircraft set up correctly. Make sure it's in air mode. Switch on the test. Receive the information from the aircraft. With all Mode S, ADSB and ATCRABS tests, the results of the test are stored in the control tablet. So every time you run a test, it will save it by time date stamp. I'm going to stop the test and exit. Go back, and that's our ADSB.